Going pretty good. How about yourself?
Just jumping between meetings again, another one of those days. Meeting after meeting or phone call after phone call, so just trying to fit everything in. So
I can imagine that's an ongoing process over and over again.
it's a different times, yes, dealing with everything. Anyways, what do you, go ahead and ask me questions, whatever you have here, and we'll just see where we get.
Well, okay. Well, obviously, I got this huge thing with, that I've come out with and tried to raise these concerns with everybody, the school district and everybody, and tried to get people to actually talk and look into this. And then I get this, like right away, like there's nothing gray in the email, letter, anything that I've said to anybody anywhere. There's no indication that I'm a threat to anybody at all. And right after I send this email, the school district calls Lori and tells Lori I have a mental problem. The school district tells her I'm a flight risk and I'm going to take off with our children potentially, and then they call the police and tell the police that I sent this email. So they share the email with the police, and then the cop is confused because he's like, well, what? They're telling me that your children are at risk and their safety is a concern when they're with you, but the email indicates the opposite. So it's really unusual that the district would go to the extent of like it makes no sense, Gray, why they would do that. And then so I speak to this police officer the following day, and he makes it clear that there's no issues. You're a good man. I'm a good dude. I'm a good person. I'm like the most honest person anybody would ever meet, and it's astounding that these complaints were made against me. And then I talked to the police officer the following day, and then that afternoon, all of a sudden, Lori's like, now social services is calling, saying you're mental and saying you have firearms, and they want to enter your home and see how your firearms are stored, and they're worried about the children. And that came from the school district too. So how is that acceptable? It's not. And like, what's going to be done about that? And why is nobody answering me about, like, you're talking about this conversation I had with Denelda. I'm asking, okay, when did the conversation take place? Because I from what I remember, it was like when COVID, the pandemic first happened. That's when I had that conversation with her, from my recollection. And then so I'm asking, okay, well, when did Denelda share that with people? Because if it was a concern at all, then it should have been immediate, not 2 months later when after Brad talks about this, what's going on. So what is happening with that? Like, I really don't care about the health and safety aspect anymore, because that part is very clear that nobody's going to take action. Not even I spoke with Reed from WorkSafe BC, and he's making it very clear that we're just going to follow the guidelines of Health Canada and their recommendations of telling everybody it's safe when there's been no health studies. So it's just this propaganda that's pushed out on people, and then people's real concerns are not heard. I don't care about that anymore. I care about this, like this.
Okay, you got two different issues there. Okay, so first of all,
well, I know I have two different issues, but I'm not like the issue with my complaint, my health and safety complaint, is redundant now because I know nobody's going to take action. No, there's no leader. There's no anybody that's going to go, like, we need to do something about this. No, there's nobody's going to do that. I get that. So I only have one issue now, and that issue is the fact that these complaints were made against me with absolutely zero grounds to have done so, and I'm getting no answers about that. That's just ignored. And
no, I've answered back to you in emails.
Yeah, but when was the conversation with Denelda? When did that take place?
I think you know that date. I don't know that date because you had the conversation with her, Brad.
That's what I'm saying. And so that conversation, and so when did she bring it up? That never got told to me. When did she bring it up? When did she say like, oh, Brad talked about firearms? Like,
So after that email that went out.
well, and exactly, that's what I'm saying. So like 2 months, why did she wait 2 months? Why didn't she, as soon as that conversation took place, why didn't she say something? Because it wasn't a concern. It wasn't a conversation that validated any thought of I'm a threat to anybody. So
Brad, what? So hold it. You had more than that one conversation with Donalda.
no, I had one conversation with Donalda.
No, I'm sorry you did not, because what happened is you were struggling with getting an afternoon shift so that you could care for your kids, okay?
Right.
And you had further conversations with Donalda following that thing originally with the firearms, that you were struggling with other things that were stressing you out, okay? There was no intent by either Donalda or myself, and we did not file a complaint, and that's what I need to be clear to you. We did not file a complaint about you. We were concerned about you, and specifically you, as we would be any other CUPE member or human being. Okay?
That's why I don't.
There was no intent to have RCMP involved. Social services, we were never part of that. That was totally in the hands of the school district and their protocol. Okay? So we.
But what gives them the right to tell people that I'm mental and that I'm a threat to the
school district?
Yeah, they outright told people I'm mental.
I doubt that. They're professional. They wouldn't turn around and say that.
Well,
Okay? I doubt that. I honestly do. So I'd be curious of what was communicated to me, what was concerned. But who was it, a third party that communicated to you, or was it to have that actually from them? That's my concern. And I'm not backing them that way to the fact, but in any conversations I've had with many people over the years, I never hear any of those terms used, right? They usually say, we have a concern for one of your members, is what I hear, okay? And we want to support them. That was our whole goal at the beginning for myself through Erica, was to give you time to have some days off somehow, because you can't just be absent from work without pay, and that was to support you there.
I said I was willing to go on a leave without pay because I'm fine, like I'm happy, I'm content, I feel great. So it's not a health thing in the sense like with me any health problems. It was a safety concern.
That came forward since then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that's not initially when we go back to everything with what happened. I have to be clear to you, whenever there's a concern for a member and there's things with firearms are talked about it and concerned about a member that you talked, because Danella did share some of the conversation with me, okay? And it might not be totally accurate, okay? But she said you were concerned, and it basically verified itself in the concern you had when you talked to me about when all these people started being concerned about shortage of toilet paper and everything else, and everyone was going crazy in that. You said you purchased back weapons, okay? Firearms, not weapons. Let's use the proper term, firearms, okay? And ammunition, because you felt you may need to protect yourself. Okay, that's fine. That's fair. You made that statement to me.
Right.
And you also made it to Donalda.
Right.
Okay. And through all the actions, through all the things going on for yourself, there was a concern because of everything you were having to cope and deal with for yourself. We have to, under the School Act, cannot withhold information that we think is a concern. And the concern we had was for your well-being. Okay?
You're concerned that I own firearms and that if the world's going to go to shit, I'm going to protect myself if somebody's going to try to break into my home or something? You're concerned about that?
We were concerned about your well-being with everything that you had said and what you were struggling to deal with, okay? And if you feel that's inappropriate for us, then fine. But we didn't call the police. We didn't call social services. We didn't say to the school district, you better take care of this because he's got firearms. We didn't say anything like that. We turned around and said, we're concerned about Brad. That was left at that, with the fact that we identified different conversations, okay?
Right.
For the well-being of you. That's it.
Well, I'm fine. The rest of the world is in a lot of trouble if they don't do something about what's happening and actually talk about it.
there again, you're making a statement that you turned around and you publicized all this stuff on that, okay? And you're entitled to that with your opinion. When you turn around and say CUPE or the president of the CUPE is not doing their job, I'm sorry, I am doing my job. I'm not responsible to taking this on and be a protester or anything else. I have my right to my opinion also, and my job is to look after the members under the collective agreement. Anything that's outside of that, I am not responsible for that. Safe working conditions, I believe under the guidelines, if they've been identified right through from QPBC up with Palm and all those, there's guidelines that we follow. I trust that everybody is doing the best they can. I can state an opinion to them, but at the end of the day, I have to follow work safe guidelines.
Right.
Okay? Those are within my rights. I don't get to turn around and say, well, I believe with Brad and we're shutting the district down. I legally do not have a right to do that. Okay? So when you say you're not being heard, you have been heard. And you will be continuing to be heard down the road, because I know you're not going to stop speaking about this, and that's fine. Like many others, it's just like the climate change and everything else. I very much believe in many things of the climate change, and that what people are doing for supporting, but I'm not one that's out there blocking bridges and everything.
I don't agree with any of that. I don't agree with people should be walking down the street yelling and screaming and protesting and banging, and I don't believe
that's their right. That's their personal right.
And I get that that's their right, but I'm not a protester, Gray, and I'm not an activist, and I'm not against anybody. I'm not defying anybody. I'm not against the government. What I am doing is I am expressing my rights and saying I don't consent to certain things. And
okay, so you have that right. Okay?
Exactly, I do have that right, and so does the general public. And so when they're informed of something or they know something, they have the right to make a decision and tell our leaders and our government that we don't consent. And right now, all of us are being stripped of our rights.
I don't think so.
Well, that's when people try to speak out about things, legitimate things, and yeah, it is. It's happening. Like, I don't know why you don't see that. That's just happening in the world.
So, Brad, I'll give you an example, okay? If the membership totally agreed with you and walked off the job and totally supported you, they could have done that, okay? Just like what you're saying, they say they have that right. They could have done that, okay?
Well, I don't even believe many people got to see that email or talk about it. It got censored right away. It got deleted. So how can they even make that choice?
Well, that's a matter of your opinion, and I'm not going to get into the details of it.
Because it was censored.
I'm not discussing any more of that email, other than you directly with what you chose to do with it, okay?
Yeah.
But one thing I'll have to make clear to you is going forward, you can't use my name publicly or CUPE's name.
What do you mean I can't use your name publicly? You're public officials.
So are you going to deface CUPE? CUPE is a national name. So
I'm not defacing anybody. I'm.
Well, you should think about that and say when we're not standing up, okay? Because
I'm not saying you're not standing up. I'm saying you're not looking into everything that's happening in the world. Like, you're not actually looking at the information. You're dismissing it.
So my workload right now is saving everybody being safe to go into work because of COVID-19.
Right.
That's taking my workload.
And I think everybody's doing a great job with that. I think that's we've taken.
The rest of it, the details, I do not have the rest. I'm trusting WorkSafe BC and everyone else with their decisions at this point, with what you're saying about 5G and Wi-Fi. Okay. I'm trusting that, and and basically I've been told legally I don't have a right to shut this down. Okay? And I don't have a right as a CUPE president to go out and express my opinion publicly as the CUPE president.
So basically, as me being an employee with the school district and being a member of CUPE 5523, that means I fall under the same, and I'm not allowed to talk about it, or I'm not allowed to do anything, right?
You have the right to express all you want as an individual. You have all that right in the world. Okay?
But I don't have the right.
As a CUPE, you can't identify yourself as CUPE. I feel that to me. No, we turn around. I can't turn around. I cannot use CUPE in any personal document I publicize. Okay.
As long as you're working for the CUPE.
No, I can't. I can only use CUPE, both the email direct work, and nothing of my personal opinion.
Well, then I guess I'm going to need to quit working with the school district and CUPE 5523 so I can openly talk about what's happening in the world.
Well, you can openly talk about what's happening in the world.
No, but I can't. I wouldn't be allowed to talk about, say, School District 22 or CUPE 5523 or, everybody would take it as an attack, or some personal thing. So clearly, for me to be able to openly talk to my friends, my family, and the general community, I need to stop working.
Well, I don't know where. I mean, that's your choice there. But like I said, you have a right to your opinion. So if you were to turn around and talk to people, and I'm saying have a conversation with people and say, well, I didn't get the support from CUPE, that's fine. You can say that, okay, in general conversation. If you turn around and said to people, I thought more people in CUPE would get on board with me with this, but they didn't do that, that's fine to have that conversation. But you can't turn around and publicize that in a written document, is what I'm saying, right?
As long as I'm working for CUPE or the school district. But I can certainly do that if I'm not working for CUPE or the school district.
If you feel that's what you need to do that way, then
that's what I'm getting out of our conversations. Is that's what I need to do. I need to be able to.
I won't give you a legal opinion on that if you can do that.
Well, I don't need a legal opinion. I already know the laws. I'm pretty good at that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that's.
I understand one-party consent laws and everything, so it's all good. Yeah. That's why, that's even why, I've written on my emails that it's my, it's my content, it's my intellectual properties, and I have every right to share those. And it includes people responding, it includes people talking to me, so,
yeah. And like I said, I can apologize, I guess, to say that neither Danelle or I never thought it was going to what happened with the employer and their choice of doing what they did, but they have to work under the School Act, okay?
Which I get. There's no.
Wasn't supposed to happen there.
No, and there's no.
I
know what happened too, Gray, and I'm not upset at anybody or faulting anybody. I think Danelle is a great lady. I think you're a great man. I've loved meeting and working with everybody that I've worked with, all the relationships I've had with everybody. But it's out of this, I totally understand. It's very, very, very clear that it's the policies that have been in place. It's the paperwork that's been in place, and that people can't, you're in this position and you have to take these steps, and you can't go outside of those steps or I get that, and that's what's restricting us from being able to make change or talk. And so I haven't had, it hasn't bothered me on a personal level, like one-on-one with people. It's bothered me on a collective level that we can't do something and really consider. So I'm not upset at anybody or mad at anybody. I love everybody. I'm legitimately sincere when I say that, I have a love for everybody. So it's
So you hit it right on the nose about how we're restricted.
Exactly.
Yeah, myself as a president of the union, whether it's what my beliefs are or otherwise, I'm very restricted in what I can say because I hold this position now, right? It's taken away actually a lot of freedom of speech, that even though people say you have the right to that.
Yes.
Right, because it restricts me in the position that I hold, that I have to be politically correct and everywhere on every issue, because I lead what the representation of CUPE is, right, under the quality statement and everything else. So I have to speak within those boundaries, right?
Yes.
And I'm held accountable for that. And I totally agree. It totally restricts a person to the freedom of speech. And that's where you're believing. And I agree with you. With him being in the school district, there is some boundaries, right? And you need that opportunity to speak outside of those boundaries.
Yeah, and that's honestly where I'm heading. I need to set my own course, so to speak, and be able to talk. I need to be able to openly talk and to everybody. I need to find a channel where I can connect and voice myself fully without any of these restrictions from management, unions, or anybody. I need to be able to do that. So it's kind of an unfortunate thing to have to say that, you know, I that's it. Like I can't work with an organization that puts those restrictions on people. So this is it. Like I'm telling you that, yeah, I'm stepping back, and I'm saying, okay, like if I can't, I'm not going to work with the school district anymore.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's unfortunate, honestly. Okay. I mean, I would possibly have hoped that you could find a way otherwise to do both, but I think you've explained it clearly. It's not possible for you. Okay.
It's not. It's not, and I really deeply feel like I have to be doing something, and if I'm not successful, at least I need to try to get people to see what is really happening in the world, because everybody thinking all this crazy shit is conspiracy theory stuff is actually the truth. And it's like, yeah, it's not even, you know, it used to be all science fiction. It's like scientific reality now of what's going on. It's deep stuff. So yeah, I need to be able to talk about it. So I'm going to do that. And I hope you, as somebody that I've known for a while, can understand that and appreciate that. And yeah.
No, I think I've said that to you all along right now. Okay, Mike, never was my goal or...
I know, I understand, Gray. I know it's your restrictions, man, and I know it's your position, and I respect that. And yeah, I know society is gonna come around and make a positive change on a grand scale. It's just gonna take a little bit of work on everybody's behalf. So.
Okay, I've got to get into another meeting, so I have to apologize. So
No worries.
Have another conversation at another time, okay, Brad?
Yeah, well, this is it, man. Like I've already told you, I'm telling you now, and I'm going through you that's it. I'm done working for the school district. I'm gonna go my own way. But yeah, if there's ever a time you and I need to talk, if you need to talk to me again about me detaching from the district, then I don't know, we can talk sometime. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're headed down that road, I just have to say that at some point you will have to put your resignation into the district, okay?
Okay.
So that's a matter of how you want to handle that, and you can talk to me about that in the future if you need to, okay?
Okay.
Okay, appreciate it. Yeah, I just got to get into this other meeting, so...
Sounds good.
Give me a shout if we need to talk, okay?
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Take care, okay?
You too, my friend. All right.
Okay.
Bye now. Okay, well, everybody's heard it. Being in these positions, a management position, government position, union, presidents, they're all restricted with their freedom of speech. They're not allowed to give their personal opinions or talk about what's happening in the world. They must follow the guidelines of the government and live under the thumb of the powers to be, and ultimately be controlled with a twisted old narrative of that male dynamic, or the male energy that's been, taking over. So it's time for change. I love everybody. I love that.